welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I am your host, Maxine, and we're on episode 243. Yes, this is a Patreon episode. I know it's been a couple of weeks. We'll get into it. But we're here. Let's get into it. In the last episode, or the episode prior, we discussed Love is Blind, the reunion episode. And here are some updates. Now, Marshall is not this victim that he is presented as. Now that I've done more research and now that I've just took a moment back and analyzed his actions. Now, me saying this does not take away from the fact that Jackie is still a horrible human being. No, she's not horrible, but her actions were horrible and that still needs to be accounted for. But I think because her actions were so much in our face that we fail to see Marshall's actions. And just not to pull the whole excuse of the reality show, the edits, but that is a factor here. Sometimes, oftentimes, most times, all the time, reality shows like to stick to a narrative and would cut out scenes or edit scenes in a way to promote a specific narrative. And the narrative in this season was to villainize Jackie. Now, Jackie didn't make it hard for us to villainize her, right? She has her faults, and I'm not taking that away from her. She needs to own that. And in the same breath, Marshall is not this victim that we initially thought. Now, what I came across in my research is that yes, during the show, if you guys remember, there was a scene in which they were arguing. I forgot how the argument began. Oh, I think it began when he came back to the house after leaving because she was mad at him for reasons unknown. And he was like, he wasn't going to sleep there or sleep next to someone, or sleep in the same house with someone who called him not man enough. He felt offended by that, understandably so, and so he left the townhouse that they shared. Upon his return, they were getting into it. She accused him of not having enough sex with her or having sex at all, and basically not laying the pipe. Understandably so, right? You know, any woman with a desire for sexual intimacy would be upset. I would, for sure. And during that conversation or exchange, Marshall said he sees her as a project. Now, those are horrible choices. Those are horrible words, right? Like, that is a horrible choice of word to describe your fiance, who you proposed to, who you fought for. And I think in that moment, as viewers, because Jackie was already being shown as this villain, I kind of, yes, I cringed when he said that, but I just chalked it up like, you know what? Well, boom, she deserves it, right? Like, I kind of excused that. But looking back retrospectively, I see it as just something that is inexcusable. Like, first of all, how do you view me? You know, and do you view me as one of your charity cases? And I would want to know also, how was he historically in previous relationships? Is he someone who seeks women who are fallen and can't get up? Does he seek women who are just in financial despair and he could be their savior? But oftentimes when that is done, the man presents a controlling aspect of his personality, right? Like, hey, look, I fixed your credit, right? Now you need to suck this dick. And it's like, okay, wait, what? I mean, I was going to, but don't make me feel like I have no choice, type of thing, right? So you have that possibility, arising just in this moment by him saying that, because ultimately he doesn't respect her, you know? And I, at the very least, you want your partner to respect you. You want your partner to see you as someone who he admires. So, and not just that whole bullshit of, I'm kind of, what I'm gonna do right now is kind of delineate between one reality show to another, um, for the sake of this example. In this season of Married at First Sight, you have what's his name? Oh, Eris. Eris, who's married to Jasmine. Eris, who's an airhead, looking like Little Bill, who makes no eye contact with people. Just a freaking weirdo. Um, he was giving a speech during their dinner table amongst the other couples while sitting next to his wife and praising her for her strength. I just want to thank you for your strength, because, you know, it takes a lot of strength to, you know, still stick it out in this marriage and still try to be a better version of yourself. I'm just putting words in here and there, but he definitely kept on mentioning her strength and kept on recognizing that as, you know, an honorable thing. And yes, strength in all actuality, attached or detached from the stereotype of strong black woman, that strength has now been tainted as, you know, being strong is a compliment. It is something that you would want to be commended for. You know, it's an attribute. But I still don't want that as a compliment. You know, in from my partner, right? I just feel like, of all things to compliment me for, I want you to compliment me on my intelligence, compliment me on my charming personality, on my beauty, you know, just not my strength. Because oftentimes when strength is used as a form of compliment, it is used because you have put me to the ringer or through the ringer, and you have made me, forced me to pull out the strength that I didn't know I had. You know? That was a little taste, a little salt at the tip of your tongue. If you would like to listen to the full episode, become a patron at patreon.com/godbuiltthis. See you there.